Hi there, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. On this channel, we learn alcohol ink, watercolor, and other creative art projects together. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Hello, my friends, and welcome to today's video. Today's video is for the absolute beginner. If you've never picked up watercolor before and you want to paint a very simple but pretty painting, this is the video for you. Today I am using my Kuretake paints and I am painting on Academy 100% cotton watercolor paper. This is a 5x7 block, which means that it is glued on 4 sides and it has just a little slit so you can stick a letter opener in there to remove it. It helps the paper from warping while you're painting, especially if you're using a lot of water like I am in this painting. I'm also using my silver black velvet brushes, which, as you know, are my favorite. So here I've chosen this dusty blue because I want a very moody sky. And of course, I'm using the Art Nouveau set of the Kuretake paints, but you can use whatever paints you have and use whatever colors you like. You don't have to make this a kind of moody, stormy sky. You can make it sunshine. That circle can be the sun instead of the moon. Anyway, use your own creativity if you replicate this painting and make it your own. So here you can see I've got the sky almost painted, and now I've switched to a size 4 brush, which has a smaller tip and helps me get into all those little tight areas. And even around the clothes that I drew, you can see that this fine point gets around those tiny little articles of clothing hanging on that clothesline with ease. So usually with my whimsical paintings, I like to get carried away. I like to add a lot of detail. That's my favorite part. But I wanted to keep this one very simple because I want my viewers, those who are beginners, to feel like they can accomplish this painting. And for those of you who are more advanced, have fun with it. Add as much detail as you want. So here I have a damp piece of paper towel and I'm lifting some of that blue paint off to create what looks like clouds in the sky. And I'm just tapping and then re-wetting the paper, squeezing the water out, and just going over it. And now I'm adding a few clouds over the moon. Now I'm going to paint all these little hills, and what I like to do is I like to outline the area I'm going to paint with a heavier consistency of paint, and then I clean my brush in the water, dab it on my paper towel, and I use the paint that's on those edges. I draw it into the center, and it usually makes the inside of the area that I painted a little bit lighter, and I like that look. But of course, you can paint it solid if you like. And while the paint is still wet, I'm picking up some darker color. I'm not sure what colors I used, but again, it doesn't matter. Use whatever colors you have, whatever paints you have. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. And for those of you who don't want to have to draw this, you can pause the video at the end where I post the finished painting, and you can take a screenshot of it, print it out, you can trace it, or simply use it as your reference. So again, I painted a lighter hill here, and then I picked up a darker, similar shade, and I just added it to the bottom. And you'll notice that I paint most of this painting using the same technique where I outline with a heavier consistency, clean my brush, and then use the water on the brush to draw the color from the edges to the inside. Again, if you're more advanced, you can add details to the hills. You can add trunks to the trees using a Posca pen or a Micron pen. You can add as much detail as you like. But again, I wanted to keep this simple because I want it to feel achievable to someone who is just picking up watercolor for the first time. And for those of you who don't know this, Kuretake paints are very different than regular watercolor. A lot of people say they're similar, but I find that they work very differently. It may not be the ideal set to start with if you're just starting with watercolor, but I find them a lot of fun to work with. I think if I had bought this set when I first started with watercolor, I would have been very frustrated because these colors are not meant to blend like watercolor do, like traditional watercolor does, I should say. So they work very differently. That's why I suggest if you're a beginner, use whatever watercolors, traditional watercolors you have. So now I'm painting the circles that make up this tree, and I'm going to paint each one individually. And again, you can see I create a heavy consistency outline. Then I'm cleaning my brush, and I'm starting in the center with the water so that it draws that paint towards the center. And I'll continue with that process for the remainder of the circles of the tray. But please note that I'm skipping around because if I paint my next circle near a wet one, those colors will bleed from one circle to the other. So give it a little time to dry, and in the meantime, just skip around so nothing is touching. Nothing wet is touching something wet. And I thought it would be fun to add some interest by making each one of the circles a different color. You can use the same color and it would still look pretty. But I wanted to have a little fun and make them different colors. While I finish this tree, I'll remind you that all the products will be listed in the description box. And for those who are just starting with watercolor, I will list my favorite traditional watercolor palette that I go to all the time. It's my go-to. It's the Muño pan paints. I love those. And that's what I would recommend for the absolute beginner. And even as someone who's been doing this for years, I still reach for that set more often than any other set I own. But anyway, as I was saying, I got sidetracked there. All the products will be listed in the description box. And if you have any questions about anything you see me do here, please let me know in the comments. I read every comment and respond to every question. And check out our Facebook group, Vivo Vintage Design Tutorials, where you can post your versions of the paintings and techniques learned on this channel. We have such a wonderful and supportive group of members, and they're all just very wonderful. I'm very blessed to have such a great group of members. So I hope that you consider joining and that you share your versions of the paintings learned on this channel with me. I would love to see how you do. And please don't forget to like, comment, or consider subscribing. Your interaction with my channel is so helpful. It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying my content, and it recommends my videos to other viewers. And that's a really nice way to show your support. Doesn't cost anything, just a second of your time, and it's greatly appreciated. So here again, I've switched to my smaller brush, and I'm using the tip of the brush to fill in those little pieces of clothing hanging on that line. Now I tried to choose colors you can tell in the background that would stand out against the blue that I chose for the sky. So you can see that the colors are kind of bright. But these are all very neutral colors in my opinion. They're very earth-toned colors, and that's what I wanted for this painting. Usually I like to use the bright colors, but for this painting I wanted it to be moody, if that makes sense. It's just the mood that I was in at that moment. So I used a lot of earth tones, and I love the way it turned out. So here I painted the foundation of the home in a brown color, and later on I'm going to add a little texture to it. I want it to look like brick, and this is a simple thing to do. Now here, when I was painting that overhang on the porch, I realized that I needed to paint the sky in the background because the only thing holding that little overhang is a post, so you can see straight through it. So I needed to add in the sky. And here I'm just using a little diluted black to paint in the windows. And again, still using my smaller brush. So here you can see I'm picking up whatever paint is on my palette, and using the very tip, I'm just making these short little lines to make it look as though the foundation is made of brick. And it took everything in me not to add more detail to the rest of this painting. Here I want the house to look like it's made of wood, so I'm just adding lines across. Very simple, not a big deal, just using the tip of the brush. And then I used a color similar to the color that I used for the house to paint in the little path. And then I added like an olivey green shade on the sides just to make them stand out a little. Now you can add flowers on those hills in the foreground. You can add a swing set. You can add whatever you want. You can get as creative as you like if you recreate this painting and make it your own. In those circles, you can add different patterns. In the trees in the background, you can add branches. There's a lot that you can do. I just want to perhaps inspire you, and then you can let your creative mind take over and make the painting your own. So once I painted this trunk, it looked a little too dark to me. So it didn't stand out enough. So I cleaned my brush, blotted it on my paper towel, and I lifted some of that paint just to make it a little lighter in the center. And now, as always, I'm going to use a 05 micron pen, and I'm going to outline all the elements in this painting. And this just makes everything stand out a little bit more. If this is not something you want to do, you don't have to. It's still a cute painting. It's just my personal preference. And you can see I used that micron pen to create the window panes. There I drew in that post. And now I'm going to draw in the clothesline, the posts, and then the clothesline. Very simple, just a couple of lines. And I've mentioned this before, I'm using cold press paper. So the micron pen will have a tendency to skip on the paper, so you may have to go over your lines a few times. And now I'm drawing in the posts for the fence, and you can see I'm not drawing straight lines. I want them to look as though they've been there for a while. They've seen better days, so they're not all perfectly straight. And if you don't have micron pens, you can do this with the tip of your brush using some black paint or whatever color you choose. You may like to paint it in white or brown. It's okay, either way. And now I am using a white Posca pen. I thought I'd add a few little stars into the sky. again to make it more interesting. And I'm just dotting. I'm also using the white Posca pen to add some highlights to the windows and some of the elements of the painting to make them stand out a little bit more. Anything where I think the moon may be shining on, I'm adding a little white highlight. Well, we are nearing the end of this painting. I hope that you've enjoyed it and that you give it a try. Again, let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.